So what about you? What exercise program would you like to do with your horse? What ideas did spark your joy? What do you think will work for you? How can I help you? Let's start the discussion. So does anybody wants to say something, have a question, or just want to share this spiked my ideas? You can just unmute yourself, all of you, unless there's really lots of background noise. But yeah, just have a discussion. We're only with 6 people, so. Does anybody need a bathroom break?
No, I'm okay, thank you. I'm going to have to mute myself because my son's just making milk a sec and then I'll be back on.
No worries. Yes, Margaret.
Well, oh, I haven't, sorry. Sorry, my plug came out here. There, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So actually there were 2 ideas that I really liked that I thought would be very helpful for me and Candy. One was starting where the horse is at, because she actually comes in at night. I take her out in the morning and she goes to join the herd, which is often quite far away in a very large field, but I leave her at the gate and I could really go with her and reward her because she does move to join the herd, to build
Excellent.
that association. So I was thinking that that's a really good idea because that's when she moves. What I've been doing is taking her to another place and trying to get her moving.
Yes.
So I think that would be the first step for me.
Absolutely.
So I liked that idea. And the second thing is, yes, I was having problems with would I set up a reverse round pen. I really liked the idea of, because she will touch a target and follow a target. I really like the idea of target to target in a rectangle, which could be within a paddock or somewhere, you know, when it's not in use by somebody else. So I really liked that because of less setup and having the horse going more in straight lines, and it's the basic preliminary learning has already been done. So
Yeah, what I did in the
say that. I like that.
What I did in the rectangle, first I taught her to walk around a corner, a target.
Mhm.
And then I set up in the beginning the rectangle next to, in the arena, next to the track, to the long side. So there she was already guided by the fence, which
Mhm.
made it so much easier. And instead of reinforcing her for touching the target, because the next step is that you want to do it in trot, and you want them to skip the cones. You don't
Mhm.
want to just click and treat 4 times for every time they go around. So with the idea of just keeping fluidity, movement, action in the future, what I did was I clicked near at each cone, but only for going around it. And
Mhm.
then the next step, but I will help you make a shaping plan, is okay, you go around cone 1 and I feed you at cone 2. So what do you get? You get a click at cone 1, and then they speed up to cone 2 after a while because they know there's the treat. So that is how you already can get fluidity and more movement. So that is one thing that we will talk about later. So yeah, thank you.
And I
Write
just
it
wanted to make
down.
a correction. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanted to make a correction. I think I said at the beginning that I was hoping Candy would lose 50 kilos in her pat fat. I meant 50 pounds.
Okay.
I think for her size, that's would be like what I'm kind of looking at. So that's like 20 kilos, right? Yeah.
Perfect. But as long as you write it down, as long as it's clear for you, that's the most important. So make notes. That's important. Thank you. Next, who else wants to share? Kate, yes. Oh, sorry.
So actually, I would like some help with some clarity, because this is what I get really excited, and then I get too excited and make things too complicated and think, oh, then we can do this and that, and then it all kind of goes out the window. One of the most important things, obviously with me and Nick, it's a little bit different because they're not our own horses, but we have trained them. Both of us have done some training with them, but we don't have like that one-to-one. But it's cool because this will really help us build that up again, which would be lovely. But is the element of fun is really, really important. So I want to make sure that we're doing something that's quite game based, because I think that's really important for Treacle, and I know it's really important for Solly as well, just because of their history. And they have been trained traditionally and stuff as well, so they are quite sensitive to it, especially Solly. So I kind of like the idea of, dog agility, doing something like that, starting with a walk and then doing trot, but sending her, like you were just saying, have some cones out, send it. Can you go out around that cone and come back to me? Can you go out around the next one and come back to me? Just something simple like that. And then can we build it into trot? And then I think having those foundations later on down the line, I could then start setting up real different things and have a bit of tarp there and have a bit of a pole and, all these different things to keep it interesting and exciting and fun for her.
Yeah, and one thing that I would like to share with you, also both for you and Nikki, because you are horses working with therapy horses that are expecting to act in a totally different way, working with clients. So in order to make that difference really, really clear, I would suggest finding a training fun area, environment in which is different than their working space.
Do you know what? We're really compromised at the moment. Usually we'd be able to do that. We have an area being built at the moment. We're having a roof putting on our outdoor arena, and that will be our training area. But at the moment, we're having our field concreted. We've only got the indoor arena. It's so unfortunate. And I ideally, yes, I wouldn't want to do it in there because it is very, they've got associations with it as well,
Exactly.
which is
and sometimes you don't want to touch that because that is an establishment. They have certain expectation. You don't want to touch it. So what you can do is ask yourself, how can I make a clear difference between the arena is for working now, for therapy, and it's for fun now? Maybe you can put up a flag, maybe you can use a certain halter, really make that distinction, like this is that they can already, when they move toward the arena, they know, oh, it's not work, it's fun.
Yeah. Do you think maybe if I wore a hat, I never wear hats, or if I wore a cap or something, so that when I went to get her, she'd know that we were going to do the training? Maybe
you can do that. You have to think, will you be always wearing that hat? Will you be wearing that hat in summer?
Yeah, true.
Or in summer, that different area is built. So I just need it for this. You can ask yourself, if it is minus 20 degrees, because winter is coming, can I wear that hat, or do I want to wear a toque? That's
so true, actually. No, you're quite right. Okay, so
what I suggest is find something that no matter time of day, no matter weather, no matter temperature, can always be the same. It can even be that you don't do something about the environment, but because of the setup. Before we go to the arena to do clicker training and movement training, we do a little bit of targeting, and then we take you out. So that sequence will prepare your horse. Oh, it's clicker training time. Something like that. And you can think of different ideas. You can talk with Nikki about that. What is feasible? Also, maybe if you put a big cone or a flag outside the arena or between where they live and the arena, like on the path, that it's also a signal for everybody else in that environment. Clicker training has to be done, like don't interrupt, or I don't know, maybe it's even the sign like, be careful, slippery floor, that kind of signal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have a good think about that. That's a really fantastic idea, and one that I can transpose to the other horses as well, which is fantastic.
I know someone who's sort of in transitioning with their horse at the moment, and they're still riding traditionally, but their groundwork is positive, and they put a neck rope on for in the arena. They ride in the arena and they train in the arena with positive reinforcement, but they're riding with negative. They put rope on because it's so simple, and the neck rope now means we're doing clicker training.
What a good idea, because that
Absolutely.
is their work in there, and actually we've got some that we could use. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Even the lack of tack will probably tell them as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we do ground based as well. That's we do a like mix of everything. So, and it's actually brought up. This is already brought up in my head that this is something really we should be doing with all of them at the moment, because we're having to use that arena. We try not to use it, but we've got no choice at the moment for the next couple of weeks. So, yeah,
and maybe it's a positive thing. Who knows? We can only know like.
Yeah, no,
future.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's fantastic. I get really excited when I think about.
Oh yeah,
stuff
me
like
too.
You can go back and apply.
Yeah, so think of something, write it down, because you want to remember this, because sometimes we simply, something happens, you're talking, you forget the lead rope or the neck rope, sorry, you forget to just do the 5 minutes of targeting, you get out of the habit, or I don't know, your flag went missing or whatever, but it's really, especially in the beginning, as long as that exercising is still so aversive and hard to them, like you can fade that signal out. They will, if you do this consistently, they will know, oh, maybe you're just wearing your treat pouch, that could be enough, or
yeah.
But think of something that can really help distinguish, because I used to have the treat. I didn't have treat pouch. I always had it in my pockets because I didn't want my horse to anticipate. Treat pouch is clicker training. I just want her to be that she would always just want to come, like treats or no treats, So I could kind of measure that as. But they know. They learn, but it's
when you
helpful.
start going up to them and they do their little whinny and like you, and you think, yeah, they know. They know.
It can also be even a special time, like if you always train at 9 a.m. in the morning and their work never starts before 11 a.m., they will know. But just do some consistency to help them anticipate on the fun that is coming.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to have to go pretty quickly. So
sorry.
I just wanted to ask, so posting the video, I think I know how to do like a private link on YouTube. Do you want us to put the link in our group, or how do you want us to share that?
Don't make it private, I think, because private sometimes then you need to do it unsubscribed.
Unlisted.
Unlisted, that's it. Okay. Unlisted.
So do you want us to actually put that in our Facebook group?
Yeah.
Like, this is my video, like that link. Okay. Yeah,
because
and then also
everybody can see it. Okay. And then everybody knows what I and you will be talking about. Yeah.
Okay. And then our training goal, also post that there.
I think for accountability, it's just really, really good. And you can always revise it,
right,
if you think like, oh, this is not high enough goal, or this is not, this is too small. That is, we as trainer also have to start where we are at. So just try things out. Don't be afraid to change your mind. You're totally
Okay.
You can
And
totally
are
do
you
that.
going to email us the training journal, like to
Yeah.
download?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say for my horse, like right now I don't think I mentioned this here, but I know I mentioned this to you, Sandra. We're transitioning to a new place that's actually going to have an indoor arena that's sand. Right now it's all grass, and I don't think I can ask my horse to right now to pay attention to me and not eat grass. So, and I'll probably have some questions about that. So and then also he's had some funny, again, with his feet, and a flare up actually recently where I thought maybe he had re-injured that suspensory. So I'm really on pins and needles right now. The vet came out and looked and said the actual suspensory looks better than it has ever. So that's good news, but there's still something not quite right. So what I want to do now is just, if I could just walk him, take some walks for this next couple little bit. And then I also have a target that I think I can start targeting.
Yes.
But when we move over to the new place, I used to have what they call a jolly ball, the thing that you hang in their stall, and I would throw that and he would go trotting over to that thing. And then I would run after and I would treat him there or clip him. So I'd probably be able to play around with things like that once we get into an environment that's a little more conducive to that. And I like the idea of like getting some cones going. And eventually I might like to learn how to long line him. I don't know if that's even how to do that or if that's a goal, but that would be so. But I'm going to have to pop off, everyone. So it's good meeting you all.
For you, I would like to suggest pick up the targeting and practice. So there's a solid foundation. Once you move him and he sees the targets, he's like, oh, I know what to do. It's simple, it's easy. I know what to do. So you can really get him used to the new environment pretty quickly, because you can give him predictability in the new environment, which is a huge context shift.
Yeah. So hold out the target. I've got the target on the stick thing.
Yeah.
Like a buoy on a stick. So just hold that out and have him come to that.
Yeah, and practice that and see how he reacts, and practice that in as much as different contexts as you can in your current situation, like in the stall, head down, head high, play with that, do simple things, because I know you're about to move your horse. So you can have that repetition without, because he will be anxious and lots of other things that he needs to take care of.
Right.
And if you can say like, oh, you see, this is the horse magnet, this is your safety blanket, this is where you don't have to do a lot, but easy to confirm it's all good, you're doing it good, you're doing it good. Just want to have more of that. He will be settling in quickly.
Okay, great. Well, thanks. Good session, everyone. Good to meet you all, and we'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
Sandra, I'm so sorry, but I have to pop off and put my son to bed now. Can I just ask a really, really quick question?
Yes.
The videos that we're doing, what are we doing? The behavior that we're working towards, the video that we're doing today or tomorrow? Just got myself a little bit confused.
Yes. The baseline is basically when you start the behavior, or like if you have step one. Baseline video of teaching your horse to target. You set up a video, you hold out the target, you see what happens. Oh, my horse is running away from it. Okay, that's the baseline. My horse is curious. You don't have to do anything. It's only kind of recording for your own records that you realize, because in 2 weeks, I know for sure that you all have made progress. But if you do 10 steps of trot, you can still think, because of outside pressure, it's only 10 steps of trot. No, that's huge for your horse. That is what the baseline is for, that you can start tracking your training. Are you getting less or more behavior? If you're going to get less or the same, what can we do? That's the reason. And it doesn't, like if you have trot, and just make a little video of your horse of normal training. It can be longer than three minutes for your own records. But that's it. So don't try to make it more than it is. Oh, I asked targeted and my horse just moved away. Shoot, normally he does that. It doesn't matter. Then you only can get more from that, right?
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Because I don't actually know yet how I'm going to teach her to do any of this. So maybe we're going to work together on that, because I can send it to a code, not round it. But thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all in the journey and stuff like that. It was nice to meet everyone.
Excellent. Have a great evening.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Again, I'm so sorry for going over time. Who's next?
Okay. I don't really know like where to start. I have a lot of issues with consistency with her behaviors. So, and I don't know whether obviously some of that is linked to her being a Merens, whether some of that is linked to her conditions. So some days she'll be like, oh yeah, we can trot on cue. Yeah, let's go for it. And then other days she's just like, no. I'll walk really fast. I'll toss my head in the air. I'll give you a step and then I'm going to get really annoyed and we'll stay and walk. So obviously it's just so hard to gauge whether that's training issues, whether that's a pain day, or
So
whether
what I suggest for you is make notes. Make notes. It's September 1st. She didn't want to do it. What were the circumstances? It was, take anything into account that you think may or even may not is related. Okay, it's 35 degrees. She didn't want to trot. Next day, it's 25 degrees. She offered trot. Maybe temperature is a thing. Maybe time of day is a thing. I know by observing lots of horses in the pasture that sunset, sundown are usually like the more active hours. They start running, especially the geldings, mares, not so much often. But it's interesting to see, does your mare start running or not? They have siesta times, hottest time of the day, that they like to lay down. When my first pony was quite active, but he was also kind of lazy because he was doing the least amount of effort he could do because it was traditional training. When I started, I was driving him. So he was a little Hackney pony. I was driving him on the road in a little carriage. It was super fun. But some days I didn't get any forward movement. I had to just use my whip a lot. It was horrible. I didn't like it. He was just so forward. Until I figured out in his case, time of day, when I was getting out of school at 3 o'clock, it was his siesta time. Between noon and 4 was his least active hours. When I figured out I had to get up early and at 8 a.m. in the morning, I had such a lovely active pony. Wow, I started doing more on those times. So figure out, make notes, because we only can remember from today and maybe from yesterday, but 3 days ago, we don't remember. So make notes. Is it before or after feeding? What time of day? Do you think like the weather has an influence? Most horses don't like to walk when the rain is hitting their face, but moving with the rain and the wind in their butt will make them move faster. Yes, I have used that in training because it was raining and that was the time of day. So awareness is key here, like, because once you know, and maybe her cycle of her, if she's in heat or not, maybe outside environmental things, you know, maybe they just changed pastures, or maybe they get different hay. I don't know. Figure it out. Make notes. You will see a pattern.
Thank you. Yeah,
I need, go ahead.
with the illness, so it's like she was grumpy today. The grass grew the night before because we had rain the day before. That's the level of notes we already have because of her sickness.
Excellent. So can you see a pattern if you make notes about training?
Yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes she just disengages, and I can never tell if it's me or if it's she's sore.
Yeah, that could be a problem. So yeah, maybe is she on painkillers?
No, the vet doesn't want to give her anything because it's so chronic and long term. We did have her on sort of herbal stuff for a while, but it seemed to affect her gut and make her worse because she has sort of chronic gut problems that we're constantly trying to stay on top of. So it's just, yeah.
You just start where you are at, and it's very overwhelming. Take it one day at a time and one step at a time. We don't expect you to just I don't know, do anything. What most important is to me is to help you get progress. I don't care what level or how much. Progress, that is important. Progress, and that you get your fun back and your confidence back, and that's all super important. And if it's overwhelming, just let me know. You don't have to try everything we talked about. Just start somewhere. Oh, Margaret's laptop is dying on us. Well, if you opt out, we'll see. We'll see you in the Facebook group. Yeah. So Rochelle, just find a way where you can start somewhere, and then also start tracking the days that she was the best days. Start tracking her best days. And sometimes it can also be depending on what they did the day before. Like I've worked with a client that had a stallion, and then like the next day on Monday he was lazy. Well, yeah, first of all, the neighbor's pony was in heat, so he had be like on top of his mind like all night long. Of course, on Monday morning from 10 to 11, he was like not on top of his game. And he was also like, now you take care of the pony. I don't have to do that. Like, there was all like, sometimes there's environmental things going on that we don't think of observing them or taking them into account. And just see if you can find times of day is usually good start. Like in the morning, is she better in the morning or at night? Like usually mid time of day is usually siesta day.
Oh yeah, especially with the heat here at the moment. Anything from about 10 a.m. till about 5 to 6 p.m. is sleep time.
Yes.
She'll leave the shelter for half an hour to go get grass, a mouthful of hay, and then she's back.
Yeah, so maybe you can do in that time of day, like something with different feeding stations, just to keep her moving. You just start somewhere. Or, okay, she's ready to eat. Give her a little, I don't advise training on an empty stomach, absolutely not. But if she is like, okay, I'm ready to eat and move toward me, my food, maybe that's your starting point. Just don't make it complicated. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nikki.
Yeah, I think me and Kate are going to have a lot to discuss. I think we're both kind of on the same page, like of what we want to do. I really like the cone idea. I think that's going to help for a lot of our horses because it'll give them a guide go to. And I think they'll clock onto that really quickly. So I think that's the main one that I really like the idea of. That's really, and also because like Kate said, it's really hard because we've got that arena at the moment. That's the only space we've got. So yeah, we've got a lot to think about and talk about, I think.
You're so lucky to doing that with Kate. in the same environment, you can really be accountability partners, and also you know each other's horses. So for you, it's maybe even easier because you can watch Kate and get ideas, and you're in the same environment literally, so it will spark ideas. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. We do that anyway. Like, we're always watching each other and we're like, oh no, did you see this? Did you see that? Like, we're always bouncing off each other. So it's so exciting that we're doing this together because we can just really help each other out. So very excited.
What do you think about just making something in the environment or in the habits, like just doing some little targeting where the horse is at? Where are they? Are they in a paddock or in a stall?
So they're normally up and they have like their barn, and we normally get them from there and take them straight down. So I think I was kind of thinking maybe they come out and then they did some little like training, targeting practice where they come out and be like, right, we're going to do this, and then we go down, sort of thing, to change it up. Because I think if they go just straight down, they've still got that in their mind. Oh, just going down to the arena.
Exactly. So
that's
exactly
like, when you said it, I was like,
so
yeah.
Start where they are, where they live. Oh, targeting. That means we're going to the arena where there's more targeting or more positive reinforcement. And then indeed, like if it's normal work day, you do the normal day, like the normal halter, the normal tack up. And they will pick up on it. Like if there's not like the easiest, of course, is just start them in a whole new environment. But the exciting news is that environment is built, and you can just straight from the beginning, you can make that association with positive reinforcement, with fun things. And then you can even strengthen that more and then bring it back into the arena where they work, and then just make them happier and happier and more moving. And the thing is, I've rehabilitated horses at the SPCA that were just there. Usually they were taking in because of neglect. So lots of horses had like malnutritioned horses, and they didn't really want to engage a heavily natural horsemanship background. Probably because most of the times you don't know, but just like, if they see a stick, they're like that. And some couldn't even make decisions. And in the beginning, I started because I only had 1 day a week that I could make it to the barn to train them. And I noticed even with 1 day a week, they all got better. They all got more engaged, and not only with me, because in the beginning, that was a few years ago, I thought I am the clicker trainer. They will only be focused on me. But what I found, and what's so wonderful, is that if there is one clicker trainer, the overall trust in humans, well, most of the humans there, the volunteers were good people. Some of them were good people, but only knew negative reinforcement, so they still yanked on the halter because they had no alternatives. But even a little clicker training and a little giving the horse control over his environment, over his treats, over his training, will just help the overall wellness of the horse. So even though you cannot do everything positive reinforcement, just a little bit, and I've seen that over and over, it really helps, because you do give them in that part of their life control and choice, which is super, super important. So yeah, I'm super excited that you and Kate are doing positive reinforcement for therapy horses, because I think they can have a really hard life sometimes, like, they cannot run or just a buck in their work, or just, so that's really, really great. Any more questions?
No.
So, well,
No, good.
if you have questions, put them in the Facebook group. If you have videos, put them in the Facebook group. The next live Q&A on Zoom is planned for Sunday. But if there are, if I see like, oh, there's so many questions, I would love to get back on you like during the week. Yeah, because I think the feedback and the immediately feedback is what can help you move forward, and that's my goal. Excellent. So we're way over time. That's my thing. 45 minutes. So that's my yeah. That's what I said. I'm lumping for people, like throwing knowledge, overwhelm people. If you're overwhelmed, let me know. I will break it down. Yeah, if you want to help, have help with the shaping plan, let me know. I'm here to help.
Thank you.
You're
Lovely,
welcome.
thank you.
Happy horse training.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.